My wallet was in your bag, you thief, my sister-in-law shouted, glaring at me as she rummaged through her purse. This happened during dinner at my fiancé's parents' house. Shortly after we had finalized the date for our wedding, both our families were present, including my sister-in-law, Lauren, who I'd always found difficult to deal with. I had already caught Lauren's eye when I recently visited my family home to announce my engagement. Since then, she had taken to inviting me out for meals, often with lines like, "Can you cover for me today? I'm out of change," or "I forgot my wallet, could you lend me some money?" She never once reimbursed me. At first, I wanted to get along with Lauren, but as time went on, I grew suspicious of her behavior and tried to avoid her as much as possible. Yet here I was, being accused of theft in front of my fiancé, Nick, and our families. My mind went blank. The wallet she held was, in fact, hers, but I swear I didn't steal it. "Sister, please calm down," I said, trying to defuse the situation. "Calm down? You're making excuses? Expect a lawsuit for theft," she shrieked, cutting me off and continuing her tirade. As I watched her grow increasingly dramatic, I regained my composure and, without even realizing it, laughed. The room grew quiet for a moment, but then a few chuckles turned into laughter from the other relatives. Lauren, stunned, stood there dumbfounded. "What's so funny?" she snapped, her face flushing bright red. Eventually, I decided to respond. "It's laughable, the things you're accusing me of, sister." Allow me to backtrack a bit. My name is Kelly. I'm a 28-year-old office worker recently engaged to Nick, my supervisor at work. Nick, 2 years my senior, had always been someone I admired. Since I joined the company, he'd looked out for me, earning my trust with his kindness and sincerity. Our relationship began with work discussions, but eventually grew into something deeper as we shared personal stories and bonded over shared interests. After a few years of dating, Nick proposed, and we decided to inform our families. When I announced our engagement to my family, they were thrilled. My older sister, Gina, who is 7 years my senior, was especially supportive. Gina, married with 2 kids, works from home as a translator due to a chronic illness. She had always been my rock, and her kind words brought tears to my eyes. "Kelly, congratulations." "Nick, please take good care of my sister," Gina said warmly. Later, when I mentioned my excitement about meeting Nick's family, particularly his sister, Nick's response surprised me. "I'm glad you're looking forward to it, but, well, my sister can be a bit selfish and vain. I worry she might trouble you," he said hesitantly. At the time, I didn't think much of it. After all, she was going to be my sister-in-law, and I was determined to build a good relationship with her. The day we visited Nick's family home, his parents welcomed me with open arms, his mother greeted me warmly, and his father's gentle demeanor quickly put me at ease. But as we prepared to leave, the front door swung open, and a woman's voice rang out. "I'm home." Standing in the doorway was Lauren, Nick's sister. She was in her mid-30s, with a bold, assertive presence and heavy makeup. "Nick, leaving already? Stay a bit longer now that I'm here," she said with a smirk. "Nice to meet you, Lauren," I said politely. "I'm Kelly, and I'm engaged to Nick. We came to greet you today." Lauren appraised me with sharp, evaluating eyes. She replied curtly before launching into a barrage of invasive questions. "So, where did you meet Nick? How much do you earn? Do you work at the same company?" Before I could answer, Nick intervened. "Enough, Lauren, you're troubling Kelly." Lauren, undeterred, insisted, "What? We're going to be sisters-in-law. I should be able to talk to her, right? Oh, let's exchange contact info while we're at it." Reluctantly, I gave her my number. In hindsight, I wished I hadn't. From that day on, Lauren began messaging me frequently, eventually discovering that our workplaces were near each other. She invited me out for lunch, and despite my misgivings, I agreed. At the end of our first meal, as the check arrived, Lauren suddenly exclaimed, "Oh no, I don't have any small change. Could you cover for me? I'll pay you back later." Though I found her behavior odd, I shrugged it off and paid, but this became a pattern. On another day, she conveniently forgot her wallet. Then, it happened again, and again. I began to realize that Lauren had no intention of ever paying me back. When I finally asked Lauren to repay me for the lunches, she brushed it off, saying, "It's just the cost of a meal. Let's not sweat the small stuff." Her dismissive attitude made it clear she had no intention of paying me back. While the cost of a single meal wasn't significant, The cumulative expenses from her frequent invitations became a financial burden. Over time, my trust in her eroded, and I decided to distance myself. I started declining her lunch invitations with polite excuses and limited my email responses to bare minimums. Despite my efforts to minimize contact, Lauren cornered me one evening after work. Nick and I had just left the office together when I heard her voice call my name. Turning around, there she was, waiting for us. Leaving work as a couple, huh? Must be nice, she remarked sarcastically, earning a frown from Nick. What do you want now, Lauren? He asked. With a sweet yet manipulative tone, she replied, actually, I have dinner plans with some friends tonight, but I'm a little short on cash. Kelly, could you lend me some? Her nonchalant request, as though she was entitled to my money, infuriated me. I responded firmly, I must decline. You haven't even paid back the money I already lent you. Lauren's smile dropped, and she turned defensive. Why are you being so cold? We're family, aren't we? Families help each other. Besides, you earn more than me. Though I had never disclosed my salary to her, she must have guessed from the fact that Nick and I worked at the same company. Before I could respond, Nick stepped in. Lauren, even in a family, borrowing money without repaying isn't acceptable. Instead of going out to dinner, maybe you should start paying back what you owe Kelly. If you can't, just go home. Lauren's face twisted in anger. Who do you think you're talking to? I'm your sister, and you're defending a stranger over me? She snapped, glaring at me as though I were the intruder. Her nonsensical argument only added to my frustration. If I'm such a stranger, why are you constantly asking me for money? Make up your mind, I shot back. Lauren then resorted to absurd accusations, saying, by not helping me, you're just proving you're broke yourself. A woman should always have money. Nick had finally had enough. What you're saying makes no sense. Kelly, let's go. Don't waste your time arguing with her, he said, pulling me away. As we walked off, Lauren's shouts followed us. Wait, don't just walk away, she yelled. Colleagues from the office turned to stare, but we didn't look back. Though she occasionally contacted me after that, I kept my responses brief and refused any further invitations. With wedding preparations taking up most of my time, it became easier to avoid her. As the wedding day drew near, Nick's parents hosted a family dinner to celebrate. Both of our families attended, including my older sister, Gina, who had been a pillar of support throughout this ordeal. Lauren was present too, but to my surprise, she avoided me entirely that evening. Her uncharacteristic silence was eerie. The dinner went smoothly, filled with lively conversation and laughter, but just as the evening wound down, chaos erupted. Returning from the restroom, Lauren shrieked, my wallet, it's gone, someone must have stolen it. Nick's mother tried to calm her. Relax, Lauren, maybe you left it in your room. But Lauren wasn't listening. No, I put it in my bag. Someone here must have taken it, she accused, her eyes scanning the room before landing on me. Before I could react, she grabbed a bag sitting beside me, pulling out a wallet. She held it up triumphantly. See, I told you, my wallet was in her bag. She's a thief. The room fell silent, everyone staring in disbelief as she launched into a tirade. You stole it while I was in the restroom, didn't you? Acting all innocent. But you're a terrible person. I won't let you marry my brother. Nick and his parents tried to intervene, but I couldn't hold back anymore. I burst into laughter. What's so funny? Lauren demanded, her face turning red with anger. It's laughable, the things you're saying, I replied, unable to keep a straight face. Gina, who had been seated beside me the entire evening, calmly interjected, Lauren, that's not Kelly's bag, it's mine. Lauren froze, her expression quickly shifting from triumph to panic. What? She stammered. You think my sister stole your wallet? That's impossible, Gina added. For one, I've been sitting here the entire evening, and two, well, as you've clearly seen, I use a wheelchair. I can't even stand, let alone take someone's wallet. The realization hit everyone at once. Lauren's accusations were not only baseless, but cruel. Nick's parents turned to her, their expressions a mix of anger and disappointment. Lauren, what on earth were you thinking? Accusing Kelly of stealing? That's disgraceful, Nick's father said. Cornered, Lauren tried to defend herself, but her stammering excuses only dug her deeper into trouble. Nick finally revealed everything she had been doing, making me pay for her meals, ambushing us at work to ask for money, and even trying to sabotage our relationship with lies. Enough is enough, Lauren, Nick said firmly. I've tolerated your behavior for years, but this? Trying to ruin my marriage? I'm done." Lauren stormed out, humiliated and furious, but the damage was done. That night, Nick's parents apologized profusely and vowed to handle her behavior.